We will discuss the different mechanisms of the context-free grammars and languages of the TCS. Now, we will take some example and try to demonstrate which are the different mechanisms behind them, or which are the regular, which are the non-regular, or different mechanisms. For example, there is a language L, and that is, for example, it is having the combination A raised to P, and P is a prime number. Okay, then it is not a regular language. Suppose there is a language A raised to N, B raised to N, and N greater than or equal to 0. It is also not a regular language. Then A raised to I raised to 2, and R is greater than or equal to 1. It is also not a regular language. Again, for example, it is a collection of two words, and that words are belonging to the set A, B, star. So it is not a regular language. So these are some example of not a regular language. For any language to be regular or not regular, there are some rules associated with this TCS or this context-free grammars. We will see them one by one. Up till now, we have seen two ways of representing any language, and first was nothing but the finite automata, and second was the regular expression that we have covered in the previous some videos. Now, why we are calling these languages as a not regular language? We will explain this with the help of some examples or with some mechanisms. So, if a language is not regular, it cannot be represented either by a finite automata or regular expression. Hence, there is a need of representing such languages. Means, for any language to be represented by either finite automata or regular expression, it should be a regular first. So, for any non-regular language to be represented by finite automata and regular expression, it can be converted into a regular language. So, it is a need to represent such languages. I am talking from, means I am talking like we are dealing with grammar and different context-free grammars. But what is actually the concept behind the grammar? It is not a plain English language grammar. It is a grammar of a TCS. So, what is the different approaches while using grammar? A language is represented using a set of equations. Means, while representing a grammar, there is a one approach, that is a language is nothing but represented using a set of equations. Next, these equations should be iterative, or we can call it as a recursive in nature. Next point is, we all know that a finite automata has a set of states. Okay, there is a number of states. A context-free grammar has a set of variables. Means this context-free grammar, and what is the short form of it? That is the CFG. As the finite automata are having a different set of states, the context-free grammar having a set of variables. This is a basic difference between finite automata and context-free grammar. Now, another mechanism is finite automata is defined over a alphabets. Okay, we have to design them over different alphabets. Similarly, a context-free grammar is defined over a set of terminals. Means mechanism is same, but they are having a supplementary different names available for them. Means for states there is a variables, And for alphabets of the finite automata, context-free grammar is having the set of terminals. What are actually there? We will say them in next some sessions. A finite automata has a set of transitions. A grammar has a set of equations. Means finite automata having some transition. Means it transit from a Q0 to Q1 over A. This is the transition. But in terms of a grammar, it has a set of equation or the productions. So these are the basic mechanism behind the any finite automata and regular expression or a context-free grammar. Now we will take some examples and how a DFA or a finite automata and a grammar can be represented. For example, there are two states having a transition over A. Then it is a finite automata representation. But grammar can be represented like there is a production X and it is producing A. Suppose there is another mechanism like X is a start symbol, A is having a self loop and B is having the transition that goes to the 1. Now, how it is represented in terms of a grammar? It can be self loop means representing the same terms multiple times. So X giving the production with the A multiple times means this X is replaced by again A is again by A and so on. And again another production is X gives. Suppose there is a production of the form X is a state having self loop A. Then it can be represented like X is a X and for replacing that X we can substitute at X gives absent. So these are the simple different differentiating factors between the finite automata and the context-free grammar. Now we have discussed what is the grammar actually. Now we will see which are the different uses of using the grammar. A grammar can be used. Grammar can be used to represent first that is the regular languages and second for non-irregular languages. Okay, means this simple grammar can be used to represent regular and non-regular languages also. But for representing its non-regular languages, it is converted into regular languages. Now we will see what is the actual definition of a context-free grammar or to which we will call as a grammar. So definition of a context-free grammar. As I have told you that, like the finite automata, context-free grammar or any grammar is having the number of variables, the number of terminals, and the number of productions. So, what is the actually context-free grammar? It is a quadruple. Quadruples means having a four terms V, T, P, S, but comparing it with the finite automata was having the 5 terms. Now, we will explain these quadruple terms that is the VTPS. What is the full form of V? V is nothing but a set of variables. T is nothing but, as the name suggests, terminal set. P is nothing but the set of productions and S is nothing but a special symbol known as a start symbol of that grammar. For example, any production means this start symbol will be a subset of a variables. Now, a production is of the form Vi gives alpha I, where this Vi belongs to V and alpha I is nothing but a set of terminals and symbols. So this is the basic mechanism behind the context-free grammar. Now, while completing the context-free grammar basic mechanisms, we will see which are the different rules associated with these grammar mechanisms. Which are the different notations? We will first talk about the terminals. What is the terminal? In any grammar, terminals are always represented by a lowercase letters. Okay, means if A is a terminal, then it should be compulsorily written in a lowercase letter, not in a capital, because capital having the different meaning. For example, terminals are the small case letters. Now, there is a different name, that is the non-terminal, and for which we are calling as a variable, and that is variables are always written by the capital letters. Okay, means capital A to Z. These are specially for non-terminals, and terminals are for the lowercase letters. There. For example, every grammar yields a string. This is a one mechanism. So a set of means string or a word is nothing but the set of terminals. Okay, means lowercase letters are always in a string, not uppercase letters, and this can be represented using small case u, v, w, x, y, z, and so on. A centennial form is a string of terminals and variables, and it is now denoted by alpha, beta, or a gamma. So, these are the different mechanisms behind the context-free grammars. We will discuss the next important mechanisms about the context-free grammars in the next videos. Thank you so much.